What up YouTube? This is Band3 here, making a video in response to the Keeko25's video, which I posted a link down below. My favorite deck of all time would be the one I currently run, which is Chaotic Germs. I actually run two decks right now, but of the two of them, that one's my favorite. There's not even a comparison, it's just my favorite deck. Um, so Chaotic Germs is not an average deck. Like an average deck, you'd see some boss monster or some OP card like Tour Guide or Tengu or maybe even Pod Duality. No, this deck is very simple and it's a very cheap deck to make. So I made it and it actually works. So it's fun because it has everything someone could want. It has OTKs. It has the regular top deck, ability. It has the ability to like not necessarily lock down, but annoy them in the fact that they can't do a few options. And then there are some just monsters with high attack. I mean, it is a swarming ability too, so that's why I like the deck. It has so many options you can go through, and what chaotic germs actually are in general are chaos, build like chaos sorcerer. Uh, has my I call it germs because it's Genix plus worms and Genix. Oh my lord, I have loved them since I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I played when I was a kid, then I played when it came back, and that archetype is just I use them in about everything I make except for Ice Barrier. Um, it's they go in everything so well. Birdman is my favorite card of all time, and this deck is such a fun deck. It's the reason why I can't. I used to run Gravekeepers at one point, but they got kind of boring, so I just sold that, and I'm like, you know what? Gen X are fun. I'm gonna stick with Gen X. So since then, I've been changing around my Gen X deck, and I ended up with this. And so uh, I have a few lovely combos that I make with Gen X monsters, and there's my field spell, which makes the OTK, and I also put a Dark Simorg in there because I use Blast Fan and this Thunderbird, which one produce my OTK, and two Dark Simorg can make a semi lockdown. They can't set cards, so this deck is not too high on back row, but it's enough just to block you for a little bit. Um, it's funny when people ask me, what does a Blast Fan do? Why would you run it? It's a stupid card. And then they see me actually use it in play, and they're like, wow. First thing they see, whenever I summon that, they're like, Effect Veiler. Like, they don't understand what it does anymore. Uh, my deck is very hard to understand, and it's hard to play against if you've never seen it before. So they don't know how to side, they don't know what to expect. So they just like if I get my OTK is also an FTK, so if I get that on them the first duel of the match, they start siding in Max C's and stuff, and they don't realize that that was just like one section of my deck. It's not the whole deck, and it's fun because whenever I get a Gen X out, they always ask what does it do unless it's Birdman. I use Blast Fan, Genix Triforce, and Locomotion. Locomotion is my favorite combo of all. Birdman, Special Summon Chaos Orc, Sync for Locomotion. Oh shit, sorry, Chaos Orc remove a player monster if I want to. Then then I sync for Locomotion, which steals your monster. And let's say it's BLS. I just stole their BLS and start pretty much raping them, and they can't do anything about it. So it's just a fun deck. Uh, there's one time where someone had a canister on the field, and I'm like, you know what? Forget this. Top deck. Let's see what I get. Cyber Dragon. I'm like, yes, Chimera Tech, and he's like, oh gosh. That's so. And then my deck swarming abilities. My Field Spell, Mist Valley, uh, Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. I pretty much put back Thunderbird back into my hand, which special summons itself because of, Birdman. Okay, Thunderbird back to my hand for Birdman. Thunderbird gets special summoned. Then I use the field spell to get Blast Fan, which puts another Birdman to my hand. And then I can just keep going from there, get Ancient Fairies, get Arcanite Magician if I want to. I can get Brio at that point. Uh, yeah, a lot of options. And that's what's fun about this deck. It's option based. You don't have one certain way of winning. GKs, you have to get Recruiter, you have to use Spy, you have to use Ascendant. That's boring for me. Uh, Dark World and stuff, it's like, oh, discard, discard, discard. If you get the field spell, it's already an automatic win. No, this deck's more like, slowly make your way to win. Either that or OTK, because my deck has one OTK. FTK as well, if you want to. And I don't run any Tengus, don't run Tour Guide, don't run Duality, just simple cards. Uh, the most expensive card in the actual main deck itself would cost only like $5, and I think that's Cyber Dragon. Yeah, in the extra deck's a different story, but my main deck, it's a very cheap deck to make, and you can always change the extra deck to whatever you want it to be. So I play Yu-Gi-Oh for fun, but this deck also wins. So I like playing it. I mean, it's not like one of those like random decks you see where someone threw a Machina Fortress with like some random fiend monster. You'll never see like a vanilla monster. I This deck is so much fun. I play it at locals, and I don't always like win every match, but I usually get a 2-1 or 1-2. I always win a match. There's no way I've ever lost every match. Um, yeah, so I've seen versions of my deck where they put Tengu in, and I tried those versions. They weren't as fun. They were just like they were all OTK base and Tengu base, and that just annoyed me. So yeah, I suggest you try out the build. I'll put at the end of the video, and this is Banjo's3 here, thanking me, the TheKeeko25 for a great idea of that. You should subscribe to him. He seems like a pretty chill guy. I like his facial hair, in fact. Sorry if that's creepy at all. And peace, guys.